Good evening. You are just in time for NTV Tonight, on a night when the man behind me, Migori Governor Trevor Ombija, is spending the night behind bars. Also our top stories. Tonight, death and injuries as Olposimoru clashes flare up again.
Some of them had arrows which were within their body. Mahindi ilikuwa kwa store karibu 400 bags na kila kitu.
The tribal connotations, the losses and allegations of a Mau forest link.
Also, a confident governor and a broken family.
Is it true? In the meantime, the accused will be remanded at the industrial area prison.
Another night behind bars for Trevor Ombija as his supporters stay on the streets.
Also on the bulletin,
when she was found, there was no pregnancy.
The puzzle of Saida Abdirahman's pregnancy and abduction.
Plus, unemployed, desperate and living in a dry land, a recipe for success. How Patrice Mwanzia used soil to build his life brick by brick on My Job.
NTV Tonight with Trevor Ombija and Zainab Ismail.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Our sign language interpreter tonight is David Agondo. We start on a sad note where one person died and more than 20 others were injured in intercommunal skirmishes in Olposimoru along the border of Nakuru and Narok counties.
Now, there are allegations that the violence was triggered by a cattle rustling incident. But that's not all. Bridget Ngana is joining us live for more from Nakuru. Bridget, what more do we know?
Well, Trevor and Zainab, there are subtle undertones that this may be because of the impending Mau evictions that are coming up. The second phase is yet to begin, but so far we spoke with the County Commissioner from Narok County, Mr. George Natembeya, who said that this is a security matter and it should be divorced from the whole Mau evictions issue. And this is my story. At the Olenguruni Sub-County Hospital, medics were on hand to receive the injured from the villages turned battlegrounds. 26 casualties have been brought here in the aftermath of a bloody intercommunal spat along the Nakuru-Narok borders, triggered by the loss of 7 head of cattle last Saturday. Those with grave injuries were referred to Temrek Hospital in Bomet County.
Most of them had arrow injuries. Some of them had arrows which were within their body. And we have managed to remove all the arrows today. Yes. We have not had any fatalities.
In the now calm battleground, the air was pregnant with tension. Some houses were burning, both communities brandishing their weapons, even as the Narok and Nakuru County Commissioners conducted peace barazas.
Mahindi ilikuwa kwa store karibu 400 bags na kila kitu. Ng'ombe sijui mahali walipeleka sijui.
More officers have been deployed to contain the violence.
We believe the other issues that are fueling all these disputes, we should be able to address them as soon as possible, because this is not the kind of situation that we allow to persist for so long.
Still, some of the residents feel the violence has to do, at least in part, with the impending Mau evictions.
Sisi tunaona ni kwamba hii si kasi ya kuibiwa. Hii ni kasi ya Mau Forest, na tunaomba Mau Forest ishughulikiwe na tusaidiwe kwa njia unaofaa. Mambo na Mau Forest ni kama pia nayo inachangia, kwa sababu wakati ng'ombe zetu zilikuwa malishoni huko msituni, wakale walikuja wakashika hizo ng'ombe 200 wakaenda nazo.
Because we want people to understand that the restoration of the Masai Mau is not a community thing, it's not an individual thing, it's for the benefit of humanity. And we are committed, because I think we've got a responsibility to restore the Mau for posterity and even for current generations.
For now, the area remains under police surveillance. Well, Trevor, just as you've mentioned, we do hope and believe that in the better part of this night, there will be no skirmishes from that end. It is a border area, but security officials are at hand to manage anything or any flare-up that comes up in the course of this night.
Right, thanks Bridget. That's Bridget Ngana speaking to us live from Nakuru. She's following the details up for you and she will give us more as soon as anything else comes up from there. Moving on, the Kenya Defence Forces says soldiers in Lamu have killed 10 Al-Shabaab militants in Taksile north of Pandanguo. 3 KDF officers sustained injuries and are now receiving medical care.
A statement by KDF's Public Affairs Head, Colonel Paul Njuguna, says a KDF attack on Al-Shabaab militia at around 6:45 a.m. also recovered 7 AK-47 rifles and assorted ammunition. The statement indicates that KDF officers are in pursuit of militants who have fled and are now asking locals to share information with security officials as the fleeing militants could be injured and may seek help within the vicinity.
Well, the latest attack by Al-Shabaab was witnessed on 29th of August that claimed the lives of 5 KDF soldiers and 10 others injured after their vehicle ran over an improvised explosive device along Kiunga and Sankuri Road in Lamu.
Now, Migori Governor Zachary Okoth Obado is spending the night at the Industrial Area Prison, where he will be held until Tuesday afternoon when his application bail will be heard. The governor pleaded not guilty earlier this morning when murder charges against him were read by the judge.
In Migori County, though, and around the court, his supporters stood in solidarity and chanted songs against his arrest. Sitting just a few meters from the dock were the late Sharon Otieno's family and friends, as Ken Mijungu reports on Obado's night in jail before the court determines his case.
A teary Belinda Auma sits pensively in court. A relative consoles her and wipes away her tears. This happening a few minutes before Governor Okoth Obado is brought to court to face charges of murdering her daughter, Sharon Otieno. This court session was a straightforward one. The presiding judge, Lady Justice J.C. Lesit, read the charge. The governor is accused of murdering his girlfriend together with others who are not before this court. Charges he promptly denied.
Is it true? You went a plea of not guilty?
Then the bail hearing began, but could not proceed. The defense's affidavit was yet to be replied by the prosecution. The judge also declined the application by the defense to have the governor held at the Gigiri police station, where he has been for the last 3 days. The prosecution has also been given until tomorrow afternoon to respond to the affidavit in support of the bail application.
I urge the court to remand the accused person in custody pending the hearing and determination of the application.
In the meantime, the accused will be remanded at the Industrial Area Prison.
The prosecution had earlier asked the court to allow the police to continue holding the governor until the investigations are complete. Obado is accused of conspiring with others not before the court to murder Sharon Otieno on the 4th of September.
Unlike many other cases of this nature, this one was rushed through court. A record 15 minutes it was done, perhaps due to the nature and the status of the person involved.
3 of Obado's close associates and 3 others have been charged and are currently in various prisons awaiting trial. Sharon Otieno's family, including the father, were in court. Obado's children were also present together with Migori County officials. In the county, today there were no more demonstrations, but the deputy governor took over office, saying that he'll be in charge until the governor's trial is concluded. In less than 15 days, the county will be going into a by-election to elect a new senator following the death of Ben Oluoch Okello. The perceived frontrunner is Obado's nemesis and political competitor and his former cabinet minister, Ochilo Ayako. The electorate say the absence of Obado gives Ayako undue advantage. Ken Mijungu, NTV.
And away from that, suspended Kenya Bureau of Standards Managing Director Charles Ongwai and 4 other officials were released by detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations moments before 26 other officials from both KEBS and Kenya Ports Authority were arraigned at the Milimani Law Court.
Now, a total of 31 officials were dramatically arrested over the importation and clearance of contraband goods in Mombasa and Nairobi counties. NTV's Seth Olale followed proceedings at the crowded court session here in the capital.
Alice,
Senior employees of the Kenya Ports Authority and Kenya Bureau of Standards denied several charges read to them by the prosecutor before Milimani Chief Magistrate Francis Andai. The accused pleaded not guilty to charges of connivance to commit an offence, neglect of duty, willful disobedience to statutory duty, and abuse of office. The suspects arraigned included Kenya Ports Authority Chief Manager of Container Freight Stations Kiprono Cole Bulut, Customs Head Verification Officer David Njagi Mbogori, KEBS Inspectors Peter Kinanjui and Joseph Bojo, Port Health Officer Mwangemi Poledima, and Clearing Agents Roy Francis Mwanthi, Moses Ya, Zainab Taibali, and Felix Macau Simon. Two companies, Inland Logistics and Exact Group Kenya Limited, were also mentioned in the case. The suspects are also facing charges related to the importation of expired rice, substandard fertilizer, tire tubes and diapers. However, 4 senior officials, including former KEBS Managing Director Charles Ongwae, were released by the DCI despite having been arrested with the accused at the weekend. Bulut was granted a cash bail of 1 million shillings, while Kinanjui was granted a cash bail of 200,000 shillings. The rest of the accused were asked to pay 3,000 shillings each. The case will proceed on 15th November through the pre-trial.
The case implicating officials from KEBS, KRA and CFS comes barely 4 months since another case implicating senior KEBS official led by the former Managing Director Charles Ongwae was held and mentioned here at the Milimani Law Courts. It's now upon the judiciary to determine whether the accused are guilty or innocent. Seth Olale, NTV, Milimani Law Courts.
And speaking of arrest, we have something to clarify. Last Saturday during our 1 p.m. news bulletin, we reported that the KPC Managing Director Joe Sang and former KPC Managing Director Charles Tanui and other KPC top managers were among those who had been arrested and were being questioned at the DCI headquarters.
We have since learned that no such arrests took place. We do apologize to Sang, Tanui and KPC management for the embarrassment the reporting may have caused. And away from that, senators are furious with the decision to cut funds meant for counties by 9 billion shillings. According to senators, the cuts should have targeted development projects at the national government and not at the county level.
Well, the senators now say they will not pass a new division of revenue bill that factors in the budget cuts. NTV's Kennedy Murithi reports from Uasin Gishu County, where senators who insist on retaining the original figures are holding their sittings this week.
Senators say the move was ill-informed and will cripple counties as they take off with their development agenda. Senators who spoke to NTV in Uasin Gishu County, where they are holding their first sitting outside Nairobi in what is dubbed as Senate Mashinani, say the money that was cut as part of austerity measures had already been factored in county budgets.
Yeah, but you see, the money is going to affect the operations of counties, and the Senate is there to defend county governments, and therefore we have an interest.
So it cannot be that when the government expects that there will be a shortfall in national revenues, they want to punish counties, and yet when they exceed the national revenue targets, counties are not benefiting. Our position is that if there's going to be a cut of 9 billion, it needs to come from the national government budget and not from county government budget.
We have counties that are seriously underfunded, countries that cannot be able to undertake development projects because they don't have the funds.
They questioned the rationale used in having the National Assembly address the matter alone, yet the budget cuts also affected counties, a domain that touches on the Senate.
We are going to enact different mechanisms to ensure that 9 billion is reappropriated back to the county to the county governments.
The law does not allow the national government to cut the county disbursement, but they can cut on their development agenda.
The matter now sets the stage for a bruising battle between the Senate and the executive.
Maybe it might be necessary for this country to go to a referendum so that each house can be given authority. Because the problem we have right now is that as a Senate, the Senate does not have any original jurisdiction on legislation, meaning they cannot work on any legislation and send it to the President to assent directly. It has to go back to the National Assembly. The National Assembly has some bills that they can work on, and they have original jurisdiction.
For the next 1 week, Uasin Gishu County will be home to senators as they devolve their sittings from Nairobi and into the regions, looking towards speaking into the specific matters that touch on the county or region in which they are. Among the issues that is expected to feature predominantly is the issue on budget cuts that was effected last week. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Uasin Gishu County.
Well, Ken is staying in Uasin Gishu through the week as the senators hold their sittings there for the first time out of Nairobi. We'll be following all the details from that area. But for now, we're taking a short break on NTV Tonight. We'll be back with a lot more in just a bit. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Now, police now say 20-year-old Saida Abdurrahman was not pregnant, according to a doctor's report. The report indicates that the girl was never pregnant and that it was all an act.
Police say they will charge the 20-year-old girl who was kidnapped in Mombasa and found yesterday in Majengo area in Nairobi, allegedly having lost her 8-month pregnancy during captivity. NTV's Helen Aura stays on that story.
A twist of events that has left many baffled. After Saida went through the hands of the doctors, the narrative changed.
When it was found, there was no pregnancy. She alleged the abductors had removed the fetus, and I directed that she be submitted to medical examination immediately. This was done, but the report was that there was nothing. She did not have any pregnancy, neither did she have any abortion.
The family had on several occasions said that the girl was 8 months pregnant when she was abducted. Police now say she is in trouble over the false claims.
The doctor is of the opinion that the said girl is of sane mind and is fit to follow proceedings in a court of law.
The findings revealed on Monday, a day after the lady was found in Nairobi and taken to the Radiant Hospital in Pangani. According to the family doctor, she was found bleeding profusely and rushed to the hospital for further treatment. It was alleged that she had been induced and forced to give birth and that the kidnappers took off with her baby.
Yuko stable, lakini hali ya ujauzito inaonekana hakuna.
The police now say that it is not the case and have cautioned the family.
The one which we have now is a clear indication that some of the people can give false information which can cause a lot of harm to people.
The family maintains that Saida's life may still be in danger.
Kule hospitali ya Nairobi nilipigiwa simu 3 tofauti. Mmoja akipiga tu ameanza kuniambia mimi Muislamu nataka kwenda kumuona Saida, kama kuna kitu chochote nikampelekee pia mtanambia mimi ni mwanamke. Alipokata huyo kapiga mwingine pia naye still anesthetic.
Saida was allegedly kidnapped on Thursday at Buxton in Mombasa on her way to board a bus to Malindi when she was drugged. Helen Aura, NTV.
And in our special series of Keeping the Promise, reducing the global maternal mortality ratio to below 70 per 100,000 live births by 2030 is among the health targets for Sustainable Development Goal number 3. Kenya seems to be making baby steps in midwifing, a new narrative of reduction in death of mothers during and after birth.
Maternal mortality in the county of Mandera for years has been at a record high, higher than some war-torn countries such as Syria. Tonight on our Keeping the Promise special series, Eunice Omolo narrates on how the county has been transforming the narrative with a drastic drop in these deaths.
Buildings sit shoulder to shoulder, some with tarmac roads separating them, in green vegetation more than just garnishing the scene. Scene that easily dispel the blanket narratives of County 009. For decades, childbirth has been a black hole yawning in the heart of this vast county, swallowing lives in the thousands during and after childbirth. A 2014 report by the United Nations Population Fund ranked Mandera as the worst county in Kenya to give birth in, among the worst globally.
Mandera's maternal mortality rate was reported to be at 3,795 deaths per 100,000 live births, which is worse than countries at war.
Today, we're talking of maternal mortalities of around 588 per 100,000 live births.
Where we were before vis-a-vis where we are right now is like night changing today.
This is the story of how Mandera County is on track in keeping the promise. A therapeutic belly massage that sits under conversation between Farhia Below and Soda Malim, a traditional birth attendant. Farhia is due in a month's time. This is her 6th pregnancy and all has been under Sauda's guardianship. The first 5 babies were delivered at home. However, this one is different. She has already booked her delivery at the Mandera Referral Hospital. Sauda is now her birth companion.
This region being Muslim dominant, most of the time we had some resistance initially,
at early stage. But now I don't think there's no much problem with male nurses.
The county government resolved to train in the traditional birth attendants on common pregnancy danger signs and skills for tackling birth delivery complications.
We encourage every TBA, while they are seeing these mothers, they should also liaise with the facilities so that as much as is possible the mothers deliver in the facilities.
Mandera Referral Hospital has recorded an increase in number of mothers visiting for antenatal clinic and for admission for delivery and skilled personnel. Most maternal deaths were attributed to low uptake of skilled birth attendants, poor roads, few functional health facilities, inadequate health workforce with vacancy rates of 93%. Further, insecurity had for years haunted the county.
Referrals were happening on top of trucks that were carrying quarry stones, for a mother in labor, and this is a real story, and many deaths have occurred before even the mothers have gotten to the hospital.
Other than construction of facilities and employment of medics in the county, a multi-sectoral approach in infrastructures such as roads linking Mandera to towns like Takaba, Banis and Elwak have helped cut short the distance covered by mothers seeking to access the much-needed health expertise. In 2015, the Kenyan government introduced free maternity services for mothers in public health facilities to reduce maternal mortality and morbidity in Kenya. It is a service that has lured more mothers in Kenya, and so is the case in Mandera County to deliver at the facility. The number of women accessing skilled delivery in the hospital has jumped from 4,190 in 2012 to 14,214 in 2017. This is according to records from the county's health department. Postpartum hemorrhage is the leading cause of deaths among mothers in the area, according to the county's records. Saudi Gure Jamal's life hangs literally on 5 pints of blood. When she was brought in, she was weak, fragile and pale. She lost a lot of blood while giving birth at home. This is the second pint of blood.
For her, she's lucky she came early. We could manage, we could give her some blood, we could give her some treatment. But most of them who are bled at home with low blood, they end up dying.
For decades now, giving birth for women in Mandera, just like other counties in northern Kenya, had been a dance with death. This was attributed to retrogressive culture and misconceptions. However, there is hope now for women in Mandera County for giving forth new and healthy generation. Eunice Omolo, NTV, in Aresa Village, Mandera County.
All right, and we'll be taking a very short break here on NTV Tonight, but Dan Mwangi will be bringing you all stories making headlines in the world of business, making sense of the sense. Stay tuned.
Let's get down to business. Good evening. My name is Dan Mwangi. The county of Kilifi is facing an acute shortage of funds for development following a delay in disbursement of the funds from the National Treasury, a situation that is said to have stalled operations at the Executive and the County Assembly. According to senior county officials, the county has received only 500 million shillings this financial year against the expected 3 billion shillings. That's just a sixth of the amount they've asked for. The coastal county has an annual budget of 13 billion shillings, which is among the highest in Kenya, but the cash crunch has left operations of key services on the verge of collapse.
Kufikia sasa serikali ya Kilifi imepata just only 500 million. 500 million, ukiangalia the wage bill of Kilifi County is around 250 million. Kumaanisha ya kwamba pesa hiyo mbali na mishahara haiwezi kukimu yale mahitaji mengine ya serikali yetu ya county.
Staying on counties, and the county government of Nandi has unveiled a new development strategy that mirrors the national government's 5-year Big Four agenda in order to speed development of key sectors in the county. NTV's Victor Kiprop reports.
President Uhuru Kenyatta's signature Big Four agenda, unveiled at the beginning of his second term in late 2017, continues to win more support from county governments. Nandi's County Integrated Development Plan (CIDP), unveiled today, integrates the national government's Big Four program as counties move to ensure uniform development at both the county and national levels.
I want to commit that the national government will work with the county government of Nandi on matters to do with the development of this county under the Big Four program.
100,000 households are expected to benefit in the initial phase of the county's universal health care plan that's being rolled out in partnership with the NHIF, while 5,000 houses are expected to be developed across the county to reduce congestion.
Kenya hii, there is a lot of transformation that is going on. What I have seen in Nandi, what I have seen going on in Nandi County, the county government are doing a wonderful job, and I want to say congratulations. Na hiyo kazi inaendelea Nandi hapa, na county government ya Nandi inaendelea katika counties zetu zote.
The manufacturing, agriculture, education and transport sectors are also sent to benefit from the new strategy, in which several firms including USAID, UKAID and Nutrition International have already pledged more than 100 million shillings in support.
Under the transport and infrastructure sector, new road machinery will be unveiled, and we have unveiled several of them to support our road infrastructure maintenance in Nandi County. Under the education sector, we have issued in the last 1 year 60 million bursary.
In the 2018-2019 financial year, the government has allocated a total of 400 billion shillings to the Big Four program, seeking to raise the manufacturing sector's share of GDP to about 15%, construct 1 million affordable housing units, expand food production and supply, and achieve 100% health coverage for every Kenyan by 2022. Victor Kiprop, NTV.
Kenya Breweries Limited has terminated its contract with Civicon Limited over millions of shillings that it owes suppliers. KBL says the contract suspension will remain in effect until Civicon fully resolves any pending contractual issues with its suppliers. Civicon is one of the companies contracted by KBL through Diageo to undertake work at the new plant in Kisumu. The decision to suspend Civicon's contract was arrived at after a group of suppliers stormed KBL's plant at the Lakeside City, demanding for payment of goods they had supplied to the company.
It's been a tussle because every time we come, you are just being taken around. Mara, Nairobi office and the staff. Civicon was contracted by Diageo. Diageo is given the contract by KBL, East African Breweries. If you talk to Diageo, which I have even mails written, you'll find that Diageo had already paid Civicon on a monthly basis.
Now, yet again, compensation of landowners is causing hiccups in the second phase of the Standard Gauge Railway project from Nairobi to Naivasha. Significant progress has been made as far as tunneling is concerned, with a 4.5-kilometer stretch of tunnel now complete, but compensation of landowners seems to be the project's Achilles heel. The 120-kilometer line is the first of the 3 segments that make up the second phase of the SGR that is expected to reach Malaba.
But I know that from the national park coming right across to the Ngong tunnel station, there are 1,093 parcels of land. So in those parcels of land, some are gorofas, some are high-rise buildings with apartments, some are single family dwelling units on a piece of land, some is a 5-acre piece of land with 1 house, another one is a quarter acre with a quarter acre with 48 units. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. So there are a lot of families being moved as a result of the compensation, but also people should look at the greater good of the SGR.
About 25 upcoming entrepreneurs will benefit from the inaugural Entrepreneurs Organization Accelerator Program, which has been launched by the Entrepreneurs Organization of Kenya. The Accelerator Program seeks to train and promote young entrepreneurs who have a turnover of between 25 and 100 million shillings and a commitment to aggressively grow their businesses. The program will see the upcoming businessmen, among other things, get access to a coach who will be a successful Kenyan entrepreneur who will moderate accountability groups for the participants. EO Kenya's strategic partners in this initiative are Diamond Trust Bank, Jubilee Insurance and the Nation Media Group as the media partners.
We were expecting to have 15 people to join the program when we started in November formally. We already have 13 on board. And so we are going to increase it to 20 and hopefully 25 by the time we start with the first learning day of strategy in November this year.
Business is done. I am Mwangi. We are one at this point. Good night.
NTV Business News in association.
All right, welcome back to the bulletin. Now listen to this. Patrice Munzir is a trained civil engineer. His search for a white-collar job to him makes up a period in his life that he regards as wasted years. Having failed in the effort to secure a job, he retreated to the village to practice agriculture.
Well, the tough climatic conditions in Ukambani forced him to find a seasonal endeavor that makes him quite the killing over the drought season. Charity Mwangi brings us this week's My Job segment about a man who turned soil into solid gold.
He blends into the environs, his shirt telling of the kind of work that he is about to engage in, his shiny academic achievements and the sophisticated city life he once lived, a distant memory. His main business is farming, but during the dry season he trades in his farming tools for a molding tool to create bricks.
Nilisomea Kenya Polytechnic, specifically civil engineer. Najua Nairobi ni ngumu sana kama una kazi specifically hujatoka hapa specifically kuna job fulani unaenda kufanya.
It is back-breaking work. First, he needs to gather his materials, including water and soil. While the soil is readily available, getting the water in this water-scarce county is the real challenge. He buys the water from a community borehole that charges him 35 shillings per drum.
Mtungi moja 20 liters inaweza toa kama 10. Unachimba tu mchanga. Baada ya kuchimba sasa unagonga mpaka inakuwa fine kabisa. Alafu baadaye sasa unaanza kumwanga maji. Alafu sasa ukitoa paste ya kutosha, kama unaona approximately inaweza toa blocks kama 200. Kulingana na uwezo wako, usikoroge mingi, alafu sasa ikibaki inaweza kauka.
The process itself seems easy, but the method they employ is quite demanding. The bricks are made one at a time under the scorching Makueni sun.
The next process ni kukauka sasa. Sasa kama kuna jua kuna clouds, kitu 3 days.
The process comes to a close and the bricks are ready for baking. Once they get out of the kiln, Patrice knows his investment will pay off, although he expects losses through breakages.
Hapa sasa area tunauza 10 bob. But unaweza reduce, inategemea kiwango mtu anataka. Sasa ukimuuzia kama anachukua kama yote unampunguza bei. Lakini kama anachukua kidogo unamfixia sasa inakuwa 10 bob. Sasa kama unapata mtu anataka 1000, sasa that is 10,000.
He loves his job because it gives him an opportunity to work on a project that is close enough to what he studied.
Kama huku kujenga wanatumia matofali sana, sio mawe. Mawe huku hakuna hizo makware.
They, however, wish that the government would invest in the projects so as they could be able to make bricks on a larger scale, if only to contribute to the Big Four agenda of building affordable housing.
Pesa mashinani ni kibao. Kwa hivyo kuishi town si ati kumaanisha uko na pesa. Huko tu ni mahesabu ya mingaro na kuishi maisha yenye ambayo yana maono. Lakini watu wa mashinani tunao maono mingi.
From this traditional mud hut to a more modern brick house, it is quite easy to see the kind of impact that Patrice and his colleagues are making here in Makueni County. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
All right, they say kazi ni kazi, and like Patrice says that the pesa mashinani ni kibao. Do you agree?
I don't know. But you know what they say, you have to break your backs at some point in life in order to succeed.
Absolutely. Narumoru Primary School in Kajiado West constituency, that's in Kajiado County, has been closed indefinitely after pupils and parents held a demonstration there.
They were demanding that a Chinese company in charge of constructing the Kisarian-Isenyo Road waters the increasingly dusty road to keep the dust down. NTV's Chiang Wimbley reports.
Pupils at Narumoru Primary School left their classrooms to protest against a dusty school environment occasioned by ongoing road construction. The pupils barricaded the road, hurling stones and lighting up tires, a situation that caused a major traffic snarl-up along the Kiserian-Isinya Road.
Watoto wengi wameathiriwa juu ya vumbi hapa
hadi kwa madarasa vumbi inapenya. Ukiona fence car ni hii huko, imeparalishwa huku na hii vumbi. Tumwagii maji, darasa ni hizo, paralishwa kila siku. Ukienda nyumbani unakaa kama umetoka koroga.
Parents who joined their children in the protest say that the dust originating from the 91-kilometer Kiserian-Isinya road, which is under construction, has caused illness among their children and interfered with the learning process, adding that their attempts to talk to the construction company into watering the road have failed.
Watoto wetu wanakuwa wanaenda hospitali kila wakati, mara kwa mara, macho, kifua. Sasa wakati tumekuja mpaka shuleni kaona venye madesk zao zinakaa, tukaonelea hata sisi wazazi tushikanie na watoto. Tupambane na huyu mchaina ndio wakubali kumwaga maji.
Itahakikisha haki yenu imesimamiwa. Mimi naona vile ile kazi ambayo imekuwa imefanyika hapa. Tunaona ile fumbi ambayo imekuwa kwa hii barabara. Hawa Chinese hata community social responsibility. Hata akiweka lami hapa, lazima hakikisha ameingiza lami kwa shule.
They say that ever since the $11 billion construction started, they have been adversely affected by dust coming from the site of construction right into their classrooms. They demand that until the road is tarmacked, it should be constantly watered to keep the dust down. The school is closed until the dust problem is solved. Achieng Wembley, NTV.
Alright, let's take a short break in NTV Tonight. But Zainab here, who's also the Omena chef, is the queen of dry jokes. She says that now that there's a rising cost of electricity, there's one thing that you have to switch off.
We are not taking that joke.
We are taking that joke. And we are volunteering you to be telling us jokes every time we take a break. What was that joke again?
That we have to, what?
With the rising cost of electricity, the one thing you have to switch off, what will it be?
The light at the end of the tunnel. Let's take a short break. We'll be back with sports news with Brian Oswald.